Welcome to Voice from the Real World. We've been looking at the law of creation. It is the law of heaven. It's the law of love. It is the law of God. One of the things we were looking at was how we learned, we made learning, and we made memory in order to solidify this miscreation or misthought that could never have been the thought of God. If you wonder why I leave all this stuff up here on board and continue with these videos, making longer series, it's because of the concept of repetition. If you remember the compliment Jesus paid us about our ability to learn, we have reinforced this over and over and over till we believe totally that this is real and that heaven is not real. And it's because of the repetition. Repetition is very important. I want to add a few more concepts. One of the other videos we've made is called How Perception Works, and please watch that video because it'll go into more depth with what I'm going to throw out here. What we did was we chose something other than knowledge, which is called perception. And in order to have perception, you have to have a body, because you have to have something to perceive with, the five physical senses. So we made a body, or bodies, and then we need to perceive something with it. So what we perceive is a world of other bodies, a world of whatever we want the world to be. Anything to keep us away from our remembrance and our awareness of the heavenly thought. So this is truth. True is truth. This is false or error. Okay? And we know the difference between an error or a mistake and a sin. Sin is a concept. Sin is the idea that the separation actually occurred, and all of the effects that would happen as a result of that idea of separation or sin. When we're looking at a body or a world, we're looking at form, and it literally says in the course that this is a form of fear. I won't go into where the fear comes from, but the fear always comes from guilt of the idea of sin. So the world is a form of fear. The body is actually the perfect form of fear. The other thing that we want to remember is that we are believing in this, and so we use three things to do that. We use faith, belief, and seeing. We use the body to see. Faith and belief are aspects of the thought in the mind. Okay, what we're going to do, what the Holy Spirit does, is He's going to use that faith, He's going to use belief, but instead of seeing, He's going to use vision. Okay, He uses everything that we made in order to correct the thought. Turn to question 11 in the workbook, which is found on page 461 in the blue book. It is adjacent to lesson 320. And again, this is reinforcing what we've learned thus far. Creation is the sum of all God's thoughts, in number infinite and everywhere without all limit. Only love creates, and only like itself. That is extending. There was no time when all that it created was not there, nor will there be a time when anything that it created suffers any loss. Forever and forever are God's thoughts exactly as they were and as they are, unchanged through time and after time is done. Now remember, when we talked about belief, we said one of the first things was that we could change the thought of God, we could change the creation of God. We had to believe that in order to leave knowledge behind and to move into perception. God's thoughts are given all the power that their own Creator has, for He would add to love by its extension. Extension always increases. It integrates by extending, but it unifies by increasing. Thus His Son shares in creation and must therefore share in power to create. What God has willed to be forever one will still be one when time is over, and will not be changed throughout the course of time, remaining as it was before the thought of time began. I was watching a special, I think it was on PBS, it had nothing to do with spirituality. It had to do with the cosmos or universe of matter. And one of the physicists on there said God could not have created that universe. The host asked him, why is that? And he said, well, God would not have time to do it. And I thought, God did not have time to do it. What is this guy talking about? Well, this physicist understood how time is an illusion, how time works within the physical universe, time and space. And he realized that the God that we declare is not in the realm of time. So there would be no way, if you're in eternity, you cannot make a physical universe that has time and space. It was interesting to hear that concept come from a physicist. Creation is the opposite of all illusions. I don't think I even have the word illusion up here on this board, but let's put it up. This is an illusion. This is truth. For creation is the truth. Creation is the Holy Son of God, for in creation is His will complete in every aspect, making every part container of the whole. Alright, so every son has the entirety of God's creation within him. Every one of the creations of God's sons have all that is within the universe. They get it all. And they get it forever. Its oneness is forever guaranteed inviolate, forever held within His holy will, beyond all possibility of harm, of separation, imperfection, of any spot upon its sinlessness. We are creation, we the sons of God. We seem to be discrete or separate and unaware of our eternal unity with Him. Yet back of all our doubts, past all our fears, there still is certainty. It's still in our mind, and we can remember it. For love remains with all its thoughts, its sureness being theirs. God's memory is in our holy minds, which know their oneness and their unity with their Creator. Let our function be only to let this memory return. Remember, forget first, forget what we made to remember. Only to let God's will be done on earth, only to be restored to sanity, and to be but as God created us. Our Father calls to us, we hear His voice, and we forgive creation in the name of its Creator, holiness itself, whose holiness His own creation shares, whose holiness still is a part of us. So we bring the will of God into earth. Earth is another term that is used for the world, because we're focused on this place we call Earth, the planet Earth. But it's still part of the world. How do we bring the will of God to earth? We begin to use perception to see an innocent son. And that innocence then reminds us who we are. We remember who we are, and we return back to the knowledge of heaven. So we'll continue to do some reviews in the following videos.
For more information about Voice from the Real World, please feel free to visit our website at www.voicefromtherealworld.org or send us an email at voicefromtherealworld@yahoo.com. Thank you for watching.